I'm going to go through the remaining tools on the left hand side here. So that's from this arrow down. I'll start here below the mouse arrow. I'm going to skip over it a second just to show you a few things. These are just different shapes you can draw. Custom shape tool allows you to create custom shapes. You can, I believe you can choose, different shapes you're drawing. All depends on the different things you play with, the fills. Give it that same fill. The stroke. Can say it's a new layer. If we go back and look at our, go back and look at our layers. All these different shapes create a unique layer. We have the option, wherever that went, to make it a part of a different layer or same layer. Here's all the different shapes you can use in the custom shapes. So I can create music notes. Pretty looking music notes too. And you can download more of these shapes offline actually, or off the internet, so online. Or you can also just do your basic shapes of a rectangle. There's a bunch of my hippie rectangles. So that's pretty cool. With the hand tool just kind of, I think it's supposed to grab whatever object's highlighted and move it. That's the way I always understood it, but it seems to just be a hand. So there's a hand. Rotate view tool. Oh, okay. So the hand grabs the entire canvas then. And here I can rotate how it looks. So let me see if I can get the hand tool to do something else. Not really at this time, but that's okay. The arrow mouse tool here, the path selection tool, it just simply grabs the object. It does more or less the same thing that this does. Under it, there's also the direct select tool, which can do a few different things, like directly select a corner and drag it out, manipulate it a little bit. But remember, if you want to manipulate something, you have to directly be on that layer to do it. So I have to figure out which layer I clicked on. I think it's this guy. Yeah. And then I can directly change each of the shape points. So if I go back over to my penguin real quick, let me try something with my penguin. You see, my penguin is not divided into different shapes. Plus, it's also being protected, locked right now. So let me see what happens if I try to unlock it. Yeah. See, my penguin isn't divided into all these layers or drawn within the program, so none of its corners are accessible. Like these, I just drew in here, so their corners, because the shapes are native to Photoshop and it understands it, as opposed to the other image, which was just imported as one entire image, it allows me to manipulate these areas a little bit more. And see, I can even separate these. That's pretty cool. So, lots of cool things you can do with these couple tools down here. If I go to the magnifying glass, it just enables me to zoom in on a particular region. If I want to zoom in, I can just zoom in. Zoom out, I can type down here in the corner. Go back to my usual 200, or I can also hold Control and the minus sign becomes 100. Colors, the same color tool that was up top with the paint bucket up here in the right hand corner is also down here in the left hand corner. I can click on this little arrow right here to switch my foreground and background colors. That's part of the quiz. You just click on these arrows to switch to foreground and background colors. This tool right here, edit in standard mode, you don't really have to worry about. You can take that off. And this last tool just changes some of my screen view options. Not too much to worry about. Additional tools around here, fit screen, makes the picture fit the screen, can make it fill the screen, I can take it back to its print size. Actual pixel, when you zoom in, if that's checked in, like as you get closer you can see the pixels. and then you can pull it back out to actually see what it looks like. So that's what that does. And zoom all the way in to see each individual pixel. So notice how part of the reason Photoshop is so favored by graphic designers is this ability to give it additional pixels laying around, so that way the picture looks more crisper. If you were to erase these, like I'll go ahead and try to erase these right now. Let's see if I can get this one highlighted. What happened to it? Okay, let me zoom out real quick. Let me find whichever shape I'm. Yeah, I want to be highlighted on this shape. Sure. Okay, so boom. Okay, I can erase that. But let me zoom in real quick on this particular shape. I want to show you, if I was to erase some of those other pixels, well, here it's just clustering them, so that makes it a little more difficult, but it groups them together when it does this. So when you're drawing in these tools, like if I go in here and start drawing, if it'll let me see what tool I'm on. Let me do with the paint tool, brush tool. See how it does that with Photoshop? Is it's creating all these additional pixels that are lighter, that blend the image together and make it very solid. That's the beauty part of Photoshop right there. So when I zoom out, it looks a little more blurred, but it still looks a lot crisper. And that was a very extreme example. If I zoom in again, and I choose, remember how we did this? Choose how the brush looks here. I can say I rather would have more solid colors. Even though my colors are more solid, there's still that outside layer that's blending the green to the white. It looks a lot more solid from the naked eye, but that's still rich in pixels right there. So in short, that is the last remaining tools of the Photoshop program, as well as how the pixels work.